Hey everybody, Adam from Gunworks. Talking about bullet SetBack today and a little bit of reloading tips. So this was the top round in a 40 cal where I had a case head failure because of bullet SetBack. So bullet SetBack, 9mm or 40 cal or 45, any 19 or 2011. When the bullet comes out of the mag, it usually hits the ramp. And with some velocity, and then plunks up and in. When that happens, you do not want the bullet to move. So there's a couple of things to know. One, if the bullet does move back, your pressure is going to go up in your round, potential case head failure. That would be worst case scenario typically. But you also, some of that momentum from the bullet moving will also wreck your feeding. So that energy gets transferred into the bullet getting set back. You don't have quite the momentum. You get a stalled out bullet on the ramp. So we want the bullets to be in here and seated well and not be able to move back. So there's a couple of things. Your average reloader, or a lot of times you see reloaders who are looking for the crimp to solve that problem. So the crimp will help a little bit, but what we really want to do is size the body of this case so that the body is tighter than the bullet diameter. So I want the diameter in this zone here to be tighter than the bullet. And if you look at this one, you can see that bottom of the bullet here, the ridge. So this case is actually going to hold this from setting back. Now, if we pound that as a dry fire round or something into the ramp 1,000 times, it's going to move it eventually. But on a normal feeding, that's what's going to stop your bullet. A lot of factory rounds, you'll be able to see that pronounced line. They run. You don't see it as much with the factory rounds or as pronounced, but it's there. And then the other part that you're going to want to do is run a good crimp. So we're running into a lot of new shooters who are running a Dillon or whatever, any of the other brands crimp die. And what you want to run is a Leaf factory crimp. It's actually the different style. It's the style that the factory guys use, and it puts a much better crimp here. That's going to be more of a feeding issue, but it will help a little bit here, at a little bit added neck tension. So run a Leaf factory crimp die. I run them really tight. I pretty much crank them down. And then we want to size the body of this round to tighter than the diameter of your bullet. So if the bullet's 400, we need to be tighter than that here. And then we'll use the case. And then you prevent the cool bullet SetBack. Now there's a couple of smaller reasons. So if somebody says, I've never had a problem, I've never had a case head failure, yeah, that might be true, but your velocity standard deviation is going to be a lot higher when you're getting bullet SetBack because your pressures are changing, and your reliability is going to be not as good. Again, some of that energy transfer, we want it all to go to the round plunking up into the gun. So run a Lee factory crimp die, and then typically find, if you looked at my reloading bench for 40 or 9mm, I've got a whole bunch of size dies, and I kind of match them to whatever brass I'm running. But I'm always measuring here to make sure that my die is tighter than my bullet diameter at the end of the day, and that you're getting that good ridge on a reloaded bullet. Hope to see you guys on the range soon.